In New York City's heated mayoral race, candidate Zohran Mamdani has ignited a firestorm of controversy by declaring that the city should honor an international criminal court arrest warrant for Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, should he ever set foot in New York. This unprecedented statement has sent shockwaves through the city's political landscape, drawing both fierce criticism and passionate support from different corners of the electorate. The statement, made during a high-profile televised interview, has pushed the complex issues of international law and accountability into the heart of local politics. Suddenly, a mayoral campaign that was once focused on crime, housing, and transit is now grappling with questions of global justice and the city's place in the world. Mamdani's stance challenges the traditional boundaries between city and federal authority, arguing that New York has a unique moral responsibility to uphold global justice, even when the U.S. government does not recognize the ICC's jurisdiction. He insists that the city should not turn a blind eye to alleged war crimes, regardless of international politics. The issue has dramatically shifted the campaign's focus from everyday local concerns to urgent debates about war crimes, international treaties, and New York's evolving global role. Voters and candidates alike are now forced to confront where the city stands on matters that reach far beyond its borders. As the city prepares for a pivotal election, candidates are now pressed to define their positions on justice, sovereignty, and New York's identity on the world stage. The debate has become a litmus test for leadership, vision, and the values that will shape the city's future. Mamdani's bold statement ensures the mayoral race is now about more than just city policies. It's about what kind of city New York aspires to be, and whether it will lead with courage and conscience on the world stage. To fully grasp the impact of Mamdani's proposal, it's essential to first understand the International Criminal Court, or ICC, and the role it plays in global justice. The ICC stands as the world's only permanent international court dedicated to prosecuting individuals for the gravest crimes known to humanity. Established in 2002 and headquartered in The Hague, the ICC was created to bring accountability for genocide, war crimes, and crimes against humanity, offenses that often go unpunished in national courts. Its mission is to ensure that those responsible for such atrocities are held to account, regardless of their position or power. Today, more than 120 countries have joined the ICC, recognizing its authority and supporting its mission. However, some of the world's most influential nations, including the United States, Russia, China, and Israel, have chosen not to become members, raising questions about the court's global reach and effectiveness. Because the U.S. is not a party to the ICC, it is not legally required to cooperate with the court or enforce its arrest warrants. This creates a significant legal and political barrier for proposals like Mamdani's, which depend on international cooperation. Recently, the ICC made headlines by seeking arrest warrants for Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and leaders of Hamas, citing alleged war crimes in Gaza. This move follows the court's earlier decision to issue a warrant for Russian President Vladimir Putin, signaling its willingness to challenge powerful figures. These high-profile actions have ignited intense debate worldwide. Critics argue that international law is sometimes enforced selectively, influenced by political interests and alliances, while supporters see the ICC as a crucial step toward global justice and accountability. Now, the controversy over the ICC's authority and its ability to hold leaders accountable has become a central issue in New York's mayoral debate, reflecting broader questions about justice, sovereignty, and the limits of international law. Mamdani envisions New York as a city that leads on international justice, setting an example for others, regardless of federal policy or national politics. He believes that New York, as a global city, has a unique responsibility to champion the principles of international law and human rights. He argues the city should explore every legal avenue to cooperate with the ICC, using its influence and resources to support international accountability and justice, even without a federal mandate, and even when national leaders hesitate or refuse to act. Mamdani draws parallels between the ICC's actions against Putin and Netanyahu, highlighting the importance of holding all leaders accountable, regardless of their power or position, and challenging the selective application of justice that often undermines the credibility of international law. His stance appeals to progressive voters who see global human rights as a local issue, believing that what happens abroad is deeply connected to the values and safety of their own communities, not just distant foreign policy, but something that shapes the city's moral character and future. For these New Yorkers, the city's identity is tied to standing up for justice and the rule of law on a global scale, reinforcing its reputation as a beacon for fairness and equality. Mamdani is betting that this vision will resonate with voters seeking a principled, globally conscious leader who is unafraid to take bold stands for justice at home and abroad. Mamdani's proposal has sparked fierce debate about the limits of city power and the realities of federal law. Critics argue New York cannot override U.S. policy, and that enforcing an ICC warrant would be legally impossible and diplomatically risky. Opponents say the mayor should focus on local issues, not international disputes that could strain relations with key allies. Supporters counter that cities can drive change and challenge national norms, especially on matters of justice. The clash highlights the tension between legal constraints and moral leadership. Is Mamdani's stance a genuine policy or a symbolic call for change? The debate reveals deep divisions over the city's role in global affairs. At its core, this controversy raises profound questions. Should justice transcend borders? Can a city champion global accountability? Mamdani argues that upholding international law is about both justice and safety, deterring future atrocities by holding leaders accountable. Critics warn that entangling New York in international disputes could threaten the city's security and overstep the mayor's mandate. The debate reflects the struggle to balance ideals of universal justice with the realities of national sovereignty and local responsibility. New Yorkers must now consider what role their city should play on the world stage. In a city defined by its global connections, these questions are impossible to ignore.